Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Lakers dubbed top destination for $49 million playoff legend following draft. The Los Angeles Lakers couldn't get past the first round of the 2023-24 postseason, which is a major defect they must consider when adding to the roster this summer. The last half-decade has seen Jimmy Butler miss more than 20 games for the Miami Heat on 4 of 5 occasions, but the hard-nosed grinders' playoff exploits are the stuff of legends, and the Lakers happen to know them well. Despite dealing with a plethora of injury problems in the lineup, often his own, Butler has led a number 5 seeded Heat team, 2020, and a number 8 seeded Miami squad, 2023, to the NBA Finals twice in the past 5 years, and made it to a third Eastern Conference Finals another season, 2022. Now, Butler could be on his way out of Miami, and the Lakers, who narrowly bested him in the 2020 Finals, are one of the best 3 landing spots for a man who could help them get back to the promised land for the first time since the league's COVID bubble. At least, that's according to Adam Wells of Bleacher Report. If LeBron, James and Anthony Davis decide to put pressure on the Lakers for an all-in move this offseason, Butler wouldn't be a bad addition to this roster. There's the very real potential for this hypothetical trio turning into a disaster because all 3 of them have injury question marks, Wells wrote on Wednesday, June 26. But if the Lakers can get one healthy season from all 3 of them, they could be as good as any trio in the NBA. Opposing teams would have all sorts of issues trying to score against Butler and Davis. Pat Riley of the Miami Heat. Butler was seeking a 2-year extension with the Heat worth $113 million this offseason, per Howard Beck of The Ringer. However, Shams Charania of The Athletic reported on Wednesday that Butler will not seek an extension with any franchise this offseason, Miami or otherwise. His decision to play out next season commits him to Miami and clears up any notion of a trade demand due to the lack of an extension, Charania wrote. Butler has an affinity for Miami and has wanted to stay with the Heat, league sources said. The issue, however, isn't that simple. Team president Pat Riley indicated after the Heat's season ended in the first round of the playoffs that he didn't intend to trade Butler. Riley also called Butler out for trash-talking teams like the Boston Celtics, who eliminated Miami in the first round, after being too injured to face them on the court and help the Heat advance. If Riley never intended to extend Butler on the kind of deal he wants, and Butler doesn't intend to sign an extension worth less than he believes he's worth, then the Heat find themselves at a tricky crossroads leading into the summer and up to next season's trade deadline. Heat exec explains reason behind Pelle Larsson pick. The Miami Heat were back at it Thursday as they made their second-round selection with the 43rd overall pick, which ended up being Pelle Larsson out of the University of Arizona. Besides himself, Heat assistant general manager and vice president of basketball operations Adam Simon spoke after the conclusion of the NBA draft to talk about Larsson and even said that he has been a player we've been watching for years. Pelle Larsson is player we've been watching for years, Simon said. We've done a lot of work with Coach Lloyd out in Arizona, both for him and Kashad actually, we were very high on both of those guys. And I think Larsson what he shows us is well-rounded, versatile player. With 38-inch vertical, big hands, has a little bit of an edge to him. And we thought he would already fit in here with his versatility, obviously his ability to shoot and a defensive mindset. So for us it was obviously we had him as the top player on our board when we went to pick, and it so happened that we had an opportunity to swap one spot, and for us, we got the same player we would have had 43 to pick 44, and we made that decision to pick them at 44. While the Heat selected big man Kel'el Ware in the first round, they went with Larsson in the second, who brings not just dynamite shooting, but also immense intensity on defense, which just screams a player the Heat would like on their team. Simon would go in detail about what made Larsson an attractive pick for Miami, citing him as versatile. Just the way he moves, he gets around the court easily," Simon said. "I mean, that's important to have that type of skill set where he can shoot, handle, he'll rebound, he'll come up with a deflection and he steals. Like I said earlier, versatile player that really moves well, has some quick twitch, some good elevation pop to his game. So it's just a matter of developing his base of his skill set. And I think he'll be able to fit in lots of different roles." Larson spent 4 seasons in college, where the first was with Utah and the last 3 were part of the aforementioned Arizona squad, where he showed his skills that impressed Miami. Last season with the Wildcats, he averaged 12.8 points, 4.1 rebounds, and 3.7 assists per game while shooting 51.9% from the field and 42.6% from the three-point line, as he told Clutch Points what Heat fans should expect from him. "I think I've shown the people in Tucson, Arizona just how hard I play for a team that's on my jersey and the pride I have every time I step on a court," Larson said. "Whatever the role might be, whatever the minutes, I'm going to just do what's best for the team, and that's what you're going to see from me, a guy that can do a little bit of everything, shoot the ball really well and play really hard." "I had good conversations with them during the draft process," Larson when talking about speaking with the Heat. "I went to work out there and it was a good time. I loved everybody was there taking care of me. I think most of all, the Heat just has very well-rounded players and that have long careers and they can do a lot of things and similar players to me. There are great shooters and I'm just excited to implement that to my daily routines in my practice." Larson will be formally introduced along with the Heat's first-round pick in Friday afternoon. Miami is looking to improve after a 46-36 record, which put them at the 8th seed for the second straight season. Miami Heat predicted to lose gutsy linchpin in free agency. The NBA held the first round of its draft on Wednesday night, capping what has so far been a fascinating week for the Miami Heat. There was speculation that the Heat had eyes for Purdue big man and National Player of the Year Zach Edey from Purdue with the 15th pick, but the Memphis Grizzlies shocked the league by scooping up Edey at number 9. The Heat responded by using their pick on center Kel'el Ware out of Indiana. In the bigger picture, a major trade by the Knicks to acquire Nets star Mikal Bridges amounts to much worse news than missing out on the chance to pick Edey. That's because, no matter the extent to which injuries can be blamed for last year's playoff flop, the fact is that the Heat are no longer the top threat in the East to the defending champ Celtics. That mantle clearly belongs to the Knicks. The Heat could easily fall behind Philadelphia by the time free agency shakes out, and the likes of Milwaukee, Indiana, Cleveland and Orlando will all have arguments for having surpassed the Miami Heat. But there's good news. Star center Bam Adebayo and the team will soon sign a 3-year, $166 million extension. What's of most concern now, though, is how the Heat will alter their roster in the coming weeks. Though Miami is said to be weighing potential blockbuster trades as it seeks to change direction this offseason, they do have a looming concern: they're unlikely to be able to pay to keep Caleb Martin around, losing a key player at a power forward position that has been tough for the Heat to keep filled. Last year, Martin did have some struggles, but averaged 10.0 points on 43.1% shooting and 34.9% three-point shooting. He has developed into a quality defender with the Miami Heat, and has enough versatility on both ends of the floor to make him a valued free agent target, not among the tops on the market, but the kind of role player that helps to win championships. Martin inked a 3-year, $20 million deal in 2022, and is all but certain to opt out of the final year of that contract, slated pay him $7 million in 2024-25, by the June 29 deadline. "I love the guy, he is a worker, he has gotten the most out of his game because he has worked hard and put in the effort," one NBA GM said. "He is not going to be at the top of everyone's wish list in free agency, but good teams know he can, the kind of player that puts them over the top. He is tough, he is a gutsy linchpin type, he is kind of what they like to think the Heat represent. But he can probably go get a mid-level deal somewhere easy enough." And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Caleb Martin? Leave your opinion in the comments.